Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to the Creative Cast. My name is Lucas Holman, and today I'm excited to have a good friend on board. We we have Eva Fontaine. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Yeah, but it's okay.
Did I say it wrong?
No, it's okay. Like, I heard so many pronunciation of this.
I should have asked you before how I should pronounce
in
it.
French is Fontaine, but it's okay.
So
I just
Eva
Fontaine. I just don't care.
Don't get me wrong. I really try hard to pronounce surnames properly. But okay,
right.
okay. So Fontaine.
Fontaine.
Okay, that's better. Okay, cool. Mark that. I'm happy really to have you here. You're looking good.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you being here on a Saturday morning. As you said, you had a crazy week. And I don't know why, but everyone is really tired on a Saturday morning. As is always the case.
Yes, of course. It's because it's the end of a week. You've been working and so on, and now it's just like a break, a weekend, basically weekend. This is just the
true. So it's there to rest, right?
Yes, exactly. I don't really have the time to rest though, because I have a lot of papers due for the next days coming and so on. But I'm trying also to manage my my schedule to have time to rest, because it's insane.
Yeah, it's really important. Sometimes it's hard when you're really busy. So
yeah.
That's just how it is. So let's start off with you. Let's get to know you a bit better, right? Your background and how you end up in Paris studying.
Yeah.
You're studying.
I'm in Paris right now. So what to say about me? Wow. I'm just a student. I'm a student in sociology in the Institute of Political Studies, Sciences Po, in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm studying sociology in the master's degree, in the research master degree. So it's nice. What to say? I don't really know what to say. But if you have more questions, so on, I can.
Sure. I mean, tell us a bit about your story, about your origins, and how you end up there.
So I'm from Réunion Island. So it's a French territory in the Indian Ocean. So really far, lost in the Indian Ocean. And it's nice, tropical weather, nice people, nice landscapes, mountains, beaches, and so on. Really great. I've lived there for 16 years.
Out of Reunion, right? In English, I think?
Réunion Island, yeah.
Réunion Island. There you go.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I've lived there for 16 years, doing my middle school, high school there, and then going in France for my studies at university. So at first I was in Poitiers.
Mm-hmm.
In Poitiers at Sciences Po, but the thing is that Sciences Po Paris, the Institute of Political Studies of Paris, has a different campus in France. So that you have the one in Paris, and you have other ones, for example, in Reims, Menton, the Havre, Poitiers, and so on, with different specificities on the studies. For example, Poitiers is centered on Ibero-Latin American studies, just like Spain, Portugal, and Latin America.
Okay.
So it was nice to have this to study more specific geographic area. So it was really nice, and I really love this these zones, especially Spain. So I was really happy there. And then I went to Granada in the Erasmus program.
Oh yes, you did. That's where we met.
Yes, exactly.
First time. That's a crazy start for us as well. I would like to touch on later because
Toledo, no, right?
That's on the side right there. But okay,
we
so
met in Toledo.
You were saying, sorry?
We met when we were going to Toledo.
Oh yeah, true.
In the bus
to Toledo. Yes. No, yeah.
Totally. I took your place in the bus. Took your seat.
It was a crazy time because, I was just studying in Granada. Not even Erasmus. I was just living there, and I got this job as a photographer for of a travel company for that organizes trips for Erasmus students mainly.
Yeah.
To all these different cities in Andalusia,
nice.
right in the south of Spain and the north of Africa sometimes as well. And I think that was my first trip. I'm not gonna lie. I think that was my first trip with them. And we went to to Toledo, and it was crazy. Like I went. Was it the one where it was really cold, or was that the second one?
Maybe the second one. I just don't remember, because then we met once again in Morocco. Well, going to Morocco.
True. Like it's crazy because I went so many times that I don't remember which one was which. No, but it was really fun. It was fun, and you went there as a normal Erasmus student just to enjoy the cities.
Exactly.
And we somehow ended up talking a lot that day. I mean, I had to because I had to take pictures of everyone, so I naturally ended up speaking with all of the students, at least a little bit. So that was a really fun experience.
This is the beauty of this kind of experiences. It's just that you're meeting new people every time, and you're talking to people having different lives, different jobs, different studies, and so on. And so I think this is the beauty of it, just meeting people around the world, especially when you're talking to Erasmus and so on. It's quite good.
Yeah, it was exciting.
I think it helps.
Yeah,
it helps having to be open-minded, and to share experiences and stories above all, like just sharing stories and so on.
Totally. I mean, about the job, obviously the photography part really struck me as very, it was exciting. But apart from that, the fact that I had contact with so many people, different backgrounds and languages, that's intrinsically something I'm really passionate about, doing. Just like you can see right now, doing this podcast with people all around the world, right? It just shows that I'm still really excited about doing that. So that few months I did that, I was quite it, and I met so many great people just like you. That I'm still in touch with.
I'm still living these kind of things because, for example, when I was in Poitiers, the majority of the students in the campus are not from France. They are from Latin America, well, especially in Poitiers because it's a Latino American campus. But you have people from all around the world. And so I was never living with French people, never talking only with French people. So it was really interesting. And right now in my master in Paris, there are people from India, from England, from Morocco, from United States, from China, from Germany. So, I think you have a diversity of people sharing things that are so different. And we're just comparing what is happening in other countries, or even cultural things, like stereotypes and so on. And it's really funny. Like, it's really nice, and I really love to talk to people that are so different from me.
Yeah.
Different languages. We have a huge match of languages. A lot of issue also, because not everyone has a good level in English or in French or in Spanish, or so sometimes it's complicated to communicate, but it works well. Like, you start a conversation in French, you end it in English, and you're just speaking Franglish.
Franglish. Oh, nice. I've never heard that before. It makes a lot of sense, though. I mean, they need to be struggling a lot with French, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but we are also struggling with English. So.
Okay. Fair enough.
It depends, but it's nice. Like, it's a good experience to meet people from really different countries and so on. And it's not just a European thing, it's really from other continents and so on. So it's nice.
I mean, I can only imagine that in the last year, all that diversity has not necessarily shown the brightest side, right? So you can't really make too much out of it. They're all there, but you can't really make, that contact and get out and, have some fun with them as well.
Yeah, we had this issue, especially because in class or in this first semester, it's only on Zoom. So you know people, but you don't know them. Like, it's quite weird.
You look like a nice guy, Zoom. But I don't know. I don't know, man.
You just see squares with people sometimes when they show off and they just turn on their camera and so on.
Yeah.
But you don't know them. You don't know how tall they are or short.
That's the most important. That's what you want to know, how tall they are.
No. No, but for example, my first... during the year, I met so many people with my master. But at the same time, yesterday, we had our first promotion entire class lunch together. Oh. So it was amazing. People meeting them for the first time. So it was, wow.
Who are you?
Yes.
I spent with you a whole year studying, but I'm really not sure who you are.
We had projects together, but we don't know each other, and we're meeting for the first time. That's amazing.
Wow.
Wonderful.
That must have been, because, lately, because of all the vaccines and all, it's improving, and some restrictions are, getting relieved, right? So you have more freedom. So you did see all your colleagues lately.
Yeah, for example, this week in France, the curfew is now at 9 p.m. and not 7 p.m. So it's nice.
Okay.
How do you call that? This is when language issue began.
Okay.
Oh no. Terrazas.
What?
Terrazas.
Oh, terrazas. Yeah, terrace.
Yeah, terrace. Like in French, we say this. Terrace are open, so you can have a drink and so on, a coffee.
Yeah.
Because
just
we were in
the
lockdown
part of the restaurant.
We had a light from March. From March to May. We had a light lockdown once again. So most of the things were closed, restaurants and so on. Sure. No terrace, nothing.
No more freedom, no more fun.
Yeah, and curfew at 7, it's quite early.
Okay, and as far as I know, I've never been to Paris, but I've heard that the Parisians really love their terraces. They adore them. They're everything. Like, it's just like the baguette or the fromage.
Nice having coffee with friends or with colleagues and so on, or a drink after work and so on. It's nice. Like, this is the Parisian life, basically. Sure. I'm not doing this every day, and I wouldn't, but sometimes it's nice and you can meet people. But right now, during lockdown, where are you going to meet people if it's not at home? But sometimes you don't want people at home and you rather have a drink outside and so on. But you don't know where to go. You don't know what activity to do because museums and so on, cinemas and so on are closed. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So it was quite difficult, but yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Like here, it's very recent, literally since yesterday. The terraces opened up again since a long time ago. You still there? Your image froze down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's just the internet. That's shitty as fuck. That's all. No, but so the terraces opened up, and we couldn't stay outside from like 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. That's gone now already, and you can meet up with more people outside and stuff like that. All those started since yesterday, and it's so weird. I got some videos from friends that live here in the city, in a bar, and I'm like, what is going on? It's like, this is a new thing called a bar. It's amazing. Yes. You can go and drink something with people. Oh, wow. Sounds fun.
So long. Like, it's really hard to imagine people taking a beer in the bar. For me, it was just, wow.
I'm blind.
This is a new concept. You need to teach me that.
It's in now, this is new thing.
Yeah, of course. But it's nice. It's getting better, or I hope it's getting better.
It is, but what I hope for is that it stays going better. That it doesn't, that because it happens so many times that it improves for maybe a few weeks and then it goes back to where we were because it got worse again. So I hope that doesn't happen. I'm quite confident that.
Let's be optimistic.
Yeah, I try to be. I'm not gonna lie. No, but I think we're getting there. How about your uni? I would love to know a bit more about your degree, about the uni itself, about the masters you're doing right now.
Yeah. So as I told you, I'm in sociology.
Mm-hmm.
In the what we call the research school of the Institute of Political Studies of Paris. So basically, sociology, it's about studying society.
Yes, totally. It's in the name, right?
Mechanisms, dynamics that exist in society, individual and groups, and groups, interactions, and so on. So it's really nice because you get to know better how social classes works, a lot of things, because you can go from a really macro level, so states, economy, and so on, to a really individual micro level, but it's really interesting, but it's more on individual behaviors and so on. So it's vast. It's really large. Sure. You can study many things. You can study, for example, education, culture, cultural practices, economy, politics.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
It's really hard.
What are one of the latest researches you
basically for my master thesis, but I need to work on and write for next year. I'm working on chess.
On chess? The game?
The chess practice in young cohorts, so with children, teenagers, and so on.
Okay.
From a more cultural practices and educational perspective. So it's about educational strategies. Why should parents put their children in some chess clubs? Why not football? Why not dance? Why not? So it's always about some educational strategies, and so that's why it's quite in the middle of cultural practices, because chess is a cultural practice. It's basically it's an activity. Right? It's a sport. It's a game. It's a profession for some people. So it depends. There's different qualifications for chess, and it's really interesting. So I'm working on this. I'm still quite lost because I've just started to work on my master thesis, on doing readings to see what have been already published, not necessarily in the chess world, because, for example, there are not a lot of sociological studies about chess, but, for example, I'm just picking what they've done in psychology, educational sciences, I don't know how to call that, and other disciplines and domains that are quite linked to sociology, but it's quite different, but inspiring your work from what have been done so far, and then trying to find out new perspectives, new ways of analyzing things. For example, there are some works in sociology on chess practice, just basically understanding chess players and so on. But there are no studies about chess from an educational perspective and so on. Sociology of education perspective, I mean, so, or even social classes perspective. So, I mean, you can do whatever you want. Sometimes it can be more interesting, sometimes not at all. So it depends on the material and the data you have and so on. But I'm really interested and I really love chess, so it's nice.
Okay, but you picked that subject for yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, it's just that when you're working on master thesis, but you need to write 100 pages just through something you're really passionate about. Because if you don't do so, it's going to be really hard.
It's going to be a nightmare. Yeah, if you don't like it, right, it's not going to be the most.
So I really like. Yeah, I really like chess, and it was interesting to learn more about chess, to be in contact with some club presidents of some chess clubs and so on, and to meet some children that are playing chess. And so it's really amazing just talking to them and see. It's above all, I think, a human experience.
Mm-mm.
Even if there is
community, right?
Yeah, it's a community.
It's a big community. Like there are a lot of people that play chess professionally.
Yeah. Yes. So it's really nice. I'm not part of a community because even if I play chess, I play just chess on my own, on internet, online playing. It's not good, but it's just that my sister sometimes wants to play with me, but sometimes not.
Because you're too good.
she doesn't want to lose.
She's a bad loser. Okay, so
no, she's not. No, but she has a lot of things to do, and she's not a fan of chess.
Okay, fair enough. But so you're still on that step where you're still doing the research.
Exactly. So I'm starting, for example, to use qualitative methods for my master thesis. It's just like observations, interviews with people, and so on. So yeah, I'm still in that period of research, of starting field research and let's say literature review. let's say this, like just reading stuffs and inspire work from what I've been done so far.
Okay, great. What are you expecting to get out of that?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Are you trying to find a correlation between kids that play in the youth versus kids that don't play chess in the youth and see how they differ or something? Or
to be honest with you, I just don't really know where I'm going because I'm still building my research question and so on. And I'm still, the thing is that because in chess there are not a lot of studies, not a lot of studies on chess, it's really hard to know what exists and what you can study, what you're going to find as a result. So it's really hard to imagine where you're going, basically. But it's also an advantage because as there are not a lot of literature on this, you can manage and you have a large maneuver. It's huge.
I get what you mean. You get it's good and bad at the same time, because on one side you do have a lot of potential to finding out stuff that not many people have looked into, so there's still some room to discover. But on the other side, the path is not already there, so you have to make the path yourself. So it's more work and it's harder to get there.
Exactly. So for example, I will take an example to compare. Classical music is something studied over and over and over and over. Always you have a lot of studies on music, classical music, with young, depending on social classes and so on. So it's already a field that is really studied, and there is a little room for new studies, new research, and so on. I'm not saying it's already full of things, but the thing is that compared to chess, there's already too many things.
Sure, totally. I totally understand that. But what I can extract from this is that your main interest is within the education part of sociology.
I really like sociology of education and so on, because I had a class of sociology of education when I was in Spain, and it was amazing, just learning new things. And yeah, I think it's a field that is really interesting. And that speaks to everyone in the sense that we are all part of this educational thing. Like I've been studying for years, but everybody went to school at least 10 years. And so, not necessarily university, but elementary school, middle school, high school, and so on. So we are all part of education. And education is not also from school. It's also your parents teaching you things. It's also your peers teaching you things. So, yeah.
No, yes, I like that. I like that. It's probably the best education is probably a good balance between these two parties, right? The parents and the system you attend, right? Because you do spend half your life there almost. Just, I don't know. It feels like that for sure.
And I'm 20 and I'm still at school, so.
No, yes. Well, first of all, I really want to talk with you about education because it's a topic that matters to me a lot too. I don't know much about it, but I find it very interesting and important. I believe there are a lot of things wrong about education nowadays, or how we are educated at school. But let's start about you telling us why actually you are interested in education. How comes you have that passion for it?
So as I told you, I had this class of sociology of education when I was in Spain, and it was really interesting. But it's also because, I was not expecting to have this kind of studies because, for example, Sciences Po Paris is quite known to be elitist university and so on.
Yeah,
and it's,
elite.
Yeah, for elite people and so. And I'm not from the elite. I'm not.
Okay, come on.
I'm not from this upper class. It was for me really hard to reach this university, and it's a lot of work. And there is this huge path from where you were and where you're going. And I think that mine is also for education and for schools, from institutions, educational institutions. And I think it's really interesting to see how people, especially from different backgrounds, from different social classes, are getting into those schools and so on. And there was when my interest in education grew. Oh yeah.
Okay, so
I don't know if my answer is interesting or not. Sorry, I'm just trying to.
It's so good. It's so good. Now I just were curious about what lit that fire in you to dedicate so many years.
I'm not dedicating myself.
Field.
I'm not only centered on education because I just don't know what I'm going to do. Then I'm just.
Sure. I mean,
I'm just really curious. And I think that sociology is about being curious. So especially that, because, for example, in my master's degree, I don't have for now any class on sociology of education and so on, but I have so many other classes on gender, on public policies, on organization and collective actions, and many things that are so different. And I think sociology is about curiosity. If you're curious enough, it's good. You're a good sociologist.
Okay. I mean, doesn't it happen so often that, well, normally when you're, 18, 19, and you normally at that age when you should make a decision whether you go to uni or not, and if you go to uni, what do you study? And normally at that age, we don't really know what we want to do with our life. It's just, I don't know. At least that was me, and I know so many people that struggle with that and still don't know. So you just throw yourself into something you think you would like. You give it a try, and
that's what I did.
Yes, exactly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You need to make some decisions and see if that works for you. If it does, cool. If it doesn't, it helped you to find the other thing you like.
I was 16 when I left my parents' house to go to university, far from home and so on. So I was just throwing myself.
That was quite intense.
It is quite hard you just don't know if you're gonna like it or not, if you're good enough for this kind of studies. You just don't know what's gonna happen. And it was nice to be at Sciences Po, because in the first year it's not a specific, you're not studying sociology, you're studying a lot of things. It's not a specific cursus. Sorry. It's not a specific bachelor, for example. So when I was in the first years, I was just studying economics, political science, law, and many things.
Sure.
That makes you quite polyvalent. And then in the master, you can decide what you really want to study and to dig in. Totally. But so this was a good opportunity for me, because after high school, I didn't know what to do. You're quite lost. Just so, you just don't know. I was young. I was 16.
16.
So,
that's way young to make the decision. Jesus.
Yeah. So it was just like, how am I supposed to decide my future right now at 16? It's impossible. Like, I can't predict my future. I can't predict my future tastes and interests. Sure. So Sciences Po was a good opportunity and alternative to not be to not study specific things from the beginning of the university, but then having this specialization in master. Now that you're quite mature, mature. And older, to know what are your real interests. Even if I'm still interested in sociology, for example, but I still don't know what I want to do.
No, fair enough. I'm sure, I'm deeply certain that our interests just develop over time, over and over again.
Changing.
Of course, there's not one thing you will love all your life.
Yeah, there are stuff like this, but it's not working on fixed interest. It's always moving. It's always changing. Transformation is life. Transformation. So I mean, that's why it's really hard to say, oh, I want to do this for the rest of my life. No. Why? No. But if people are like this, okay, nice. Good for you.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, congratulations. You just have so much easier than everybody
else.
Go
ahead. But if you don't know, it's not an issue. It's not a problem at all. And as I told you, I still don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'm going to do a PhD in research, sociology, but maybe I'm just going to, I don't know, end working in enterprise, or I don't know. I have no idea what I'm going to do. The thing is that if somebody is doing studies, the most important thing is to study things you really like. Just wake up in the morning and say, oh, this is going to be a good day, or at least I'm going to appreciate what I'm going to study. And I think it works with jobs also. The most important thing is to love what you're doing and say, because they are really difficult time. And if it involves difficult time, if you don't like what you're doing, why are you still here? Just ask the question.
Totally agree. I mean, I can't know for sure, but my gut feeling tells me that's how most people feel. They're not sure. They're always uncertain, which is, well, it's just human. That's normal. But they taste changes over time, for some quicker than for others. And I reckon, well, our social system, educational system, isn't really designed to for that purpose, for that idea. It's more designed of, okay, you find your specific niche and you do that forever. In a way, that's at least how I felt it in Spain. And it's not really preparing you for that kind of future or that kind of mindset. It's not telling you, okay, look, this is probably how it's going to be. It's normal if you don't know. What can you do if you happen to change what you want to do when you're 20? What if you want to 25, 30? What are your options? How can you manage to do that? Can you combine different interests you have in one thing? I feel like there's not enough attention going into that.
In my opinion, school is not teaching us how to live, or just giving you knowledge.
Exactly.
And it's nice. I really appreciate to have a knowledge backgrounds in different fields, in different areas, in different domains, and it's nice. But it's not even preparing you for a job, depending on the master, depending on what you're studying, and it's not preparing you for life. Sorry, but it's true. Totally. In my head when I was young, it's just like you're going to university and then you have a job and you killed it. Yeah, amazing. But in life, after I still don't know what it's gonna happen after a master. I'm just I'm quite scared because I will need to apply for jobs, to apply for anything, and it's quite uncertain. People are just gonna tell you, no, I don't want you in my enterprise, in my
Sure. You're gonna experience a lot of rejection along the way.
But I think this is important, and maybe tomorrow you're gonna be a teacher, and in 5 years you're gonna be something else, and it's okay. And it's also this diversity of experiences that enrich people lives. And I think it's really important to have this in mind, that it's okay if it's not constant. It's okay if it's not always, if your path is not already dictated by your past and your present. It's okay if the future is uncertain.
Yes, it's okay, and it's normal.
Because who can predict everything? Nobody.
You're not a weirdo if you don't know what you want to do in life.
And yes, I understand that sometimes it's quite frustrating and confusing. And it is for me, as I think it is for everyone. But at the same time, I'm just teaching myself to appreciate the present and don't worry too much about the future. And just enjoy what you have right now, and then you'll see. It's gonna be all right.
Totally. How did you manage that? Like when you were 16 and you weren't sure, how did you come clean with you? Let's say, like, what happened in your mind?
I didn't think too much. I think just not paying attention to this, and just, the beginning of the university, you're quite naive. You're quite you're young.
So just went for it.
Don't think too much. Don't think too much.
Okay, you went a bit with your instinct. Let's see what happens.
Yes, exactly. So it was for me discovering something completely new. A territory, France, but it's completely new for me. Before university, I had never been to France. To the European territory of France. So it was something completely new for me, and I think that discovering something new makes it more makes you quite enthusiastic and quite not that worried, because you're just discovering things. You still don't know what's gonna happen, and you're just like, I'm just gonna live those experiences, but I have those chances and see what happens then.
Yeah, totally. I reckon obviously I'm basing this on my own experience. When I had to make a decision at every point, when I went out to uni and after uni, and every time I had to make an important decision, I was lucky enough to have parents that were comprehensive with me in that sense, and that didn't push me towards somewhere, and they just gave me the freedom and to choose, but not only like physically, but also emotionally.
Yeah,
they were like,
I think I have it.
You pick, it's okay, whatever you want to do, it's fine. It's fine with us.
Exactly. My
Right.
parents are quite in the same, thinking this quite the same, because they can't choose for me. And I need to make decisions. We need to grow by ourselves and to be who we want to be and not who our parents want to be.
Yes, that's how it should not be.
Yeah,
right?
At least my parents also give me the freedom of choosing what I want to do. For example, Sciences Po was my choice. Going in Spain was my choice. This sociology master, it's my choice. Even if I know it's not the most, compared to law, when you're gonna have a nice jobs at, or if you're working in finance and you're gonna have a nice job in a bank, sociology is not the same. It's a lot more uncertain. And I was just like, Mom, I just don't care. I want to do this, and even if I just don't know what I'm gonna do, I really appreciate sociology. So maybe I should go for it and try. Give it a try and see then. So yeah, I mean, we all need this freedom to make our own experiences, and we need to choose. We need to decide.
Totally.
As individuals.
I feel like we are very lucky with this.
Yeah. It's also nice to have parents to say, "Oh, be aware of this. You know that reality. It's like this."
Of course, they shouldn't let you let totally of the leash and just get lost.
Exactly.
They give you their voice. They tell you what from their point of view is best for you, and they try to guide you as good as they can. But at the same time, they're not restricting you to something. They're not telling you, "Oh, don't do this," because they have their experience, but they might not have that mindset you have right now. The world is changing from year to year so fast. So what their experience from 20, 30 years ago might not apply to now to you. So it's hard to divide, okay, what's good advice, what's bad advice that works for me right now. But that's the dance you got to dance, right? So the hard part comes in when you have parents that are just not tolerating anything.
Yes.
And they just tell you, okay, you need to make money, you need to go to a safe job and do this or that, law, I don't know, whatever, economics, or I don't know, what what brings a lot of money? Insurances. I don't know.
Thank you.
Classical, very safe bets, or safe degrees that mainly don't leave you on the street.
For example, it was nice because my parents weren't expecting me to do long studies. For example, they were just like, if you just want to, I don't know, to be a farmer, go for it. If you want to, I don't know. I just looking for a word that is, I just want to do short formations and work at the McDonald's, it's okay. As long as we enjoy what we're doing, I think it's the most important thing.
Because they want you to be happy. That's why.
Yes, exactly.
They're thinking about you. And the problem is, the problems arise when parents don't think of the happiness of the child. They don't think about them, but they think only about themselves.
And they are projecting themselves through their child.
Yeah, they're being egoistic when they tell their kid, "Oh, you need to study law." They're only thinking about themselves, about their insecurities, about their needs, and leave the kid aside. So that's why that's a problem, right?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
No, yeah, totally. I mean, I couldn't. I don't want to know how it is to live through that. Like it's one of the hardest things ever to stand against your parents.
And the thing is, if they're like this, usually it's because they want the best for their children, but they just
They do,
expressing
but on
this.
their own way. Okay, right. In their own way.
Yes, not in a good way, but so it's not about blaming them. It's about yeah.
No, totally. As a kid, you the best thing you can do is not, as you said, blaming them. Oh, they're bad people. No, it's showing empathy for them as well.
Exactly.
Understanding where they come from, their situation, their mindset. That's how you deal with it the best way, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And oh, great. No, as you can see, I love this topic. Something I would love to talk with you is the possibility of having an improved education. Where is education heading, and how should it or could it improve in the future?
Oh, to be honest, it's quite hard to have an idea of how to improve things, like in the sense that I don't feel like the one giving advice, pieces of advice for what should be improved and what shouldn't be, because first of all, I don't have an entire idea of education. Like I have a partial, sure. I have just partial information, and so it's really hard to say, oh, you should do better. Oh, you should do this.
Yeah, okay.
Because, and as you said, things are changing, so it's really hard to establish and to improve things when everything is just changing. So I just don't have any concrete answer to say, oh, you should do better using these tools, being this kind of person. No, I think we still need to experiment education and trying to. I just don't know. I don't feel like being the right person to say we should improve this or not.
Yeah, true. I see. You're doing the right thing. You're being cautious. You don't like to talk about something you're not necessarily that knowledgeable about. You don't know too much.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess I'm a bit more free willy there. I just say what comes from my heart feels to me. I love to be wrong. If I am wrong, I'm wrong. You know.
No, I just don't care about being wrong. It's just that I hate taking position on something I don't have any expertise on, and I'm not an expert on anything. So
totally. It just I often think I don't know. It's just I think I'm very selfishly on myself. Okay, what would have loved now that I'm living as an adult on my own and working, doing the life. I think back and it's like, okay, what are the things I need to know now that I did not learn in school? And then I go like, okay, maybe, and then at the end, like things like taxes.
Yeah, I was thinking about this.
Big basic shit, or like laundry, washing shit, and I don't know, doing your annual taxes return. I don't know how it's called in English.
Yes,
when you get your taxes back. All those things.
Papers for taxes and so on.
Yeah, that are very basic that everyone needs to do. Money, how to handle money, how to save money, how to invest, things like that. Basic shit.
Yes, I do agree with you.
Yeah, none of that gets taught in school. If yes, very, very slightly, and most of them are. When it comes to money and economics, they're often optional. So it's something you can choose to do or not.
I think we should have class on paying taxes, choosing insurances, and so on, because I still don't know how to do this, and I don't have a job for now, so I don't have those issues. My parents are the one paying taxes, but I'm just like, I just don't want to get to that point where I need to fill my institutional papers and so on by myself, because it's so terrifying when you just don't know.
Yes, it's scary because you don't know. It's scary. Everything. Well, the lack of knowledge often translates into fear, right? So
I'm just sending a message to the French president. Please teach us how to pay taxes. Please.
Yes. Totally.
I mean,
this list goes on and on. From emotional intelligence to how to deal with your boss, how to apply for jobs, how to rock an interview, how to speak in public. Thousands of things that are very important that we never learn in school. Properly.
yeah.
And when I think about all of that nowadays you have to learn on your own on YouTube, watching videos. Okay.
Tutorials.
how to talk to your boss, YouTube. Like what?
Yeah.
How to ask for a raise, how to 1,000 questions.
No, but basically I had some interviews for an internship a few weeks ago, and I was quite lost because I don't know how to do that. So I already had some interviews, for example, when I was applying to Sciences Po and so on. But it's quite different when you're applying for a job or an internship or this kind of thing. So I was just looking on internet how to do this, how to do a pitch, how to because this is not something that have been taught in classes. Like nobody's giving you advice, nobody's giving you any elements to improve yourself and to rock it. Like
looking at all of that, to the conclusion I was come to is that in school there is a profound lack of teaching essential knowledge to the population. There's a lot of non-essential knowledge you get that you'll probably never use. They'll probably never be useful to you.
But you've already forget.
that you only really struggle to learn with for the test, right? You really get that in your mind, all those specific data, right? For history, for biology, whatever. You scrum that in your head, and then you spit it out the day you have the test, and the day after you forgot everything.
Yeah.
That has happened to all of us.
This is an issue because finally, what do you keep in mind? Nothing. Or maybe just huge elements, important elements, but first you don't have the details. And then are you going to use this knowledge? Not at all. So
you don't see the use in it. It's not useful to you. We only learn to our heart what is really useful to us, that brings us a benefit, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there is always this issue of a huge gap between what you're learning in school and what you really need in life.
Yes.
This might be improved for sure. But yeah, I mean,
that's the only thing I can say about that on a big scale. I couldn't go more deep in it because I'm no expert whatsoever in it. I'm not, I can't say about the economical, consequences of changing that on a radical way. I don't know how that would work on a political side. You probably would have to change quite a lot of laws on that to get that through. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's a very, very necessary step we all need to do. Not only because education is the most important part for a society to be independent, and be a strong society that is critical and that is competent.
Mm-hmm.
But also because without it, also the country itself is losing competitivity in so many ways. You will all have very undeveloped staff. I don't know, your country will be less happy because they can't handle their lives. They can't cook. They don't know how to exercise properly. They don't know how to be healthy. They don't know how to treat their time with respect. They don't know how important sleep is in life. They don't know. Jesus, Like it's mind-blowing to me how that's not obvious to everyone. And I don't understand how we end up in such a way of teaching. I don't get it.
I don't know.
How did we end up there? Like, what? Who came up with that bullshit? You know what I mean? I'm not saying that math isn't important. I'm not saying that history isn't important. I'm saying it's not the most important thing you should learn in school. It's just one more thing together with all of the other parts. It's
I just have a
another
question
piece
for
in the
you.
puzzle, right?
Just to play devil's advocate. Should school teach these kind of things, or should family, pairs, and so on, and life teach you this?
Both. It both should.
School is for it's for just like elementary knowledge and so on. So maybe some people will say, no, school is not for this. You're gonna learn to pay taxes and so on, to be healthy, with your personal experiences and with your parents and life, but it's not in school. And school will give you knowledge, elements that are really specific, not specific, because or general things that we should all know. I assume this. But yeah, people will say that maybe it's not where you should learn this kind of thing. And this is why there is this gap between life and school. And what you get from this. And I don't say that it's the right way to do things, because as I told you, I'm just playing the devil's advocate. But yeah,
you are now.
This is about I don't know, a difficulty to know where you should learn things from, in which environment, in which institutions should give you those different elements in life, you know. I don't know if you get what I
understand what you're saying. I just see the
once again, it's not my opinion. It's
no, totally. That makes a lot of sense. That, you know, in a way of that's maybe what they think, how it works, or how it's supposed to be. But reality shows us that is not efficient. That doesn't work for everyone. Doesn't work for most people, because all those basic things you need to know in life, oftentimes you don't learn them at home, because maybe your parents don't know them either. Right? They don't. Maybe your parents don't know how to cook. Maybe your parents don't know how to deal with taxes. Just pay someone to do it for them, or whatever. You know, maybe they can't provide you with it, or maybe they just don't do it because they don't want to, right? It's like, oh yeah, school will teach them everything. Done. Right? So oftentimes, so there's no real guarantee that people are leave school prepared.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee that even if you put this at school, they're gonna be prepared.
Sure, but at least you have the option. You have the possibility. You have someone telling you. If you don't want to listen, that's your choice.
Of course, it's always it's always about choices and so on. But at the same time, once again, playing devil's advocate,
good.
There's a lot of people that didn't go to school but still manage taxes, because there are elementary school elements that you don't really need to learn from school, but that you're gonna learn in life. And people are not dead because they didn't learn this at school, you know.
yeah, totally. I mean,
so we have, the thing is that humans have the ability to adapt and to learn, even if it's not an institution called school.
Yeah.
So that's why I was telling you that education is not about only school. It's about a lot of different actors, different institutions, different elements that are at an intersections. You know, it's a lot of different actors that are playing a role on education and what you're gonna learn and what you're gonna need in life and so on. So it's
true. Yeah, I might ask too much from the education system. Like maybe I expect too much from them. But I feel like if we have to be there, because we have to, right? It's until we are 16, we need to be at school. At least it should be good. At least it should be useful.
And I understand. I'm the first one making this criticism to school, so I understand completely the point.
It will never be perfect. There is always room for improvement, but I profoundly believe it's completely off currently.
And there is always disagreement. This is also a point. Like, it's really hard to make everybody happy with what we have. Of course, because we have so many different perceptions of things and different wishes.
Yeah.
So it makes it hard to combine everybody's perception. So that's why there is always this room for improvement, but also some tensions. But but grow with this with the intrinsic different perception of people.
No, I get what you mean. There's always in Spain every so often you sorry, I don't know, but Spain is a bit special because
Spain is about being Spain is about disagreeing every time, just being the opposite.
Yeah, but it's good. Disagreement is good because from disagreement you get somewhere, right? There's
the most important thing is that disagreement is good when you're trying to get a consensus.
Yes.
But if you're just disagreeing to disagree, it makes no sense.
That's just a headache.
No, the thing is that in disagreement, there is also constructive criticism. It's about building something from the consensus, from discussing, finding an agreement, finally, making, if it's just disagreeing for a disagreement,
no sense. Of course, that's why I like to say where there's disagreement, there's potential for improvement. It doesn't need to be, but it can be.
I just remember from one of my classes, democracy is when there is disagreement and you're trying to build a dialogue between disagreement. If everybody agree, there's no democracy. It's okay. Like there's no issue.
Everyone's happy. Done.
But when you're trying to build this dialogue between people that disagree, then you're having this democratic thing.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. It was quite poetic in the sense that, we're always talking about democracy, for example, when it comes to disagreement and so on. And but no,
I get you. Democracy at its essence is disagreement.
Yeah.
But a healthy one.
Yes, exactly. A constructive one.
Yeah, exactly. A society where there's no disagreement, that's a utopia. That doesn't.
The thing is that we're so different from each other, but it's not going to happen. We're not the same. And it's a good thing that we're not the same.
Yeah.
It's important to not be just a copy paste. I don't want to be the prototype and then copy myself many of them.
Oh, you're so harsh with yourself.
No, so that's why it's great. It's really great to have difference in society, and we should get that because we have so many things to learn from the others, from differences. But at the same time, it's really hard to manage people's disagreements and people's differences because imagine, for example, we have 60 million people in France. How can you make sure everybody's okay, everybody has what they want, when people have really different wishes?
Yeah, totally.
Maybe you want,
it's important.
Maybe you're, that's why it's quite difficult to manage this disagreement in society because we're so different, but we can't have a unique government that can. Sorry, I just don't find my words.
Say it in French.
That no, I'm just repeating myself. Find another way I don't know the way to say this. And it's just un rompecabezas.
Un rompecabezas. Nice. You know, I love French, right? I love hearing it. It's so sexy. All right, I had to say it. I had to say it. Sex is the sexiest language ever. It really is. Dude, I'm so in love with it.
Sorry. Being French, this is not sexy at all. Hein? Vraiment. With a very French accent, but it's quite ridiculous sometimes. Sorry, but
it's one of the most recognizable ones as well.
It's terrible. No, it's not terrible. It's nice to have accents,
and it's okay. It's sexy. It makes you who you are. Sometimes I feel like I don't have a strong accent at all.
No.
I have a very, very mild accent in any language I speak. Sometimes I'm a bit sad about it because I would like to. Sometimes I'd like to have an accent, a Spanish one. You know, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Am I really Spanish? Like, you know, I question myself. Like, come on. And it's so confusing to other people. They don't expect it, right? They're like, "You're Spanish." No, you know, you're not Spanish. Come on, don't lie to me. And I have to justify myself. It's like, come on, no one believes me.
Yeah, I understand, because when I went in Spain, at first people didn't think I was French. They were just like,
"But your Spanish is really good."
I don't have any.
It is.
I have some issues, but I don't really have many problems with pronunciation in Spanish. Even if sometimes I'm just mixing a Latin American with more Spanish accent, but doesn't mind.
That's okay. That's okay. It's okay.
But I don't have the French accents. So for people it can be quite confusing, but sometimes they don't forgive the same mistakes. You know, like when they have the impression you're quite a native speaker, they're not going to forgive some grammar mistakes that you do because you're not a native speaker, basically.
Yes.
Totally, and it happens a lot. For example, I have some friends that are from other countries but have a really perfect French, and it's amazing. But for example, when they are doing some mistakes, people are just being rude sometimes, just like, "Why are you making this mistake? You're French." No, they are not French. And even if we're French and we're making mistakes,
it's okay. It's
okay. Like, it happened. Even if, it can be really funny and you can feel really stupid, but who cares?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, just make a little fun of him and that's it. Just but in a friendly way. Come on. Be kind, right? It's just a lot. Often, like, people who do that often lack empathy. Mm-hmm. That's just how it is.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't figure themselves or put themselves in their shoes. Like when they go abroad and have to speak English or Spanish or whatever language.
You know, going back from what we said at the really beginning of this, being in contact with international people is really interesting in this, because you're being quite comprehensive and less unless you're not expecting too much from them. You're trying to understand, because the main thing is not grammar. It's communication. As long as you understand the idea of the person, why do you care that much about having nice words, having really words that we don't really, you're not in communication. Yeah, sometimes you really need to have grammar, a great structure to understand the idea. But if you do understand the idea, why are you paying too much attention on words and so on? So if there is a mistake, it doesn't change the sense. It doesn't change the communication part. So just let it go. And then paying attention to mistakes make people really shy. And this is a mistake, because they're gonna be afraid of speaking when they shouldn't. Like, really, for example, at first I was really shy when I wanted to talk in Spanish, or I still quite shy in English, but in Spanish it was the case when I was at university. But then I was with people that had the same issue, but with the French. So we're just like, I understand you. We feel the same, not in the same language, but we feel the same. We feel each other. So there's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, totally. Oh, I feel like you're basing this on maybe an experience or two. What was your craziest experience in Spain, where maybe something like that happened to you?
I don't feel like I had some bad experiences and so on.
I mean, yeah,
Like
Spanish people normally are quite kind when it comes to that.
I didn't have any issues, except when people just pronounce my name in a different way. And
Oh no! You just backstab me right there. Just
no. Right now I'm quite used to this, so it's not an issue. But at the first time when I went to Spain, I was hearing for the first time my name pronounced in a different way. Ooh. So I didn't recognize they were talking about me and just called it at me. So I was just lost, and people like Fontaine. Get you're talking to me.
It's a very Spanish way of saying that. Yeah.
And so then the guy was so like, "What are you doing? It's you. Why don't you understand? I'm talking about you." But it's just that it's so weird for me. Like, it was the first time. So right now it's okay if somebody's calling me Fontaine or Fontaine or I don't know, because I'm used to it. So it's not a problem. But for the first time, it's quite strange and funny.
And sometimes it gets a bit really ridiculous too. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Spanish people in general, just the worst people pronouncing surnames. Worst ever. Just no way they're doing it properly. Like from other countries.
No effort.
No, just no way. Just they make their own way of saying that. They just they read it literally out. It's like, yeah, it's like that, right? And they don't care.
Mine. Fuck you. Mine, for example, it's okay. My name is my first name is Eva. And for example, in Spain, this name exists.
Yeah.
So you don't have any issue. And Fontaine, it's okay, But for some people with more complicated names, for example, my roommate is called Clémence.
Oh.
and I, like in Spain, she was called Clemente. Like, what?
Clemente.
And people were pronouncing so badly.
Wow.
So badly.
Oh my god. You just get destroyed. Oh my god. Oh,
her name is quite good in French, but in Spanish, not that much.
Man, I could sing you a song about my life with my surname because I have a German surname. Well, one of my surnames is German. My first one, it's Human, right? But in Spain, man, if you would read it out in Spanish, the H has no sound. It's mute.
Yeah.
So you would go Oman, I guess. Or sometimes they go Homan, like because they really try so hard that they make up something. It's like, maybe it's like this. It's like and I tried for forever to teach them how to say it properly, which is the German way. And
I still don't know how to pronounce it. So what should it be?
It's hard. I recognize. I have to admit, it's not that simple. It's like Human, and you have to kind of like exhale air, pronouncing the first H. It's like Human. It's very gently. It's hard. It's really hard. Germans can do it, obviously. But at some point, I gave up on everyone else on Earth. I was like, okay, just try, and I'll just roll with that. What you say? Okay.
But do you have any fun experiences now that you're in Germany and so on with language and this kind of issues?
It's all right. Like the only thing, my second, I don't use my second surname that much, which is Spanish, with Alvarez. But yeah. I don't. It doesn't come to use that often because in Germany you normally always use your first surname and that's it. And my name Lucas exists in Germany, but it's often written with a K instead of a C. Right. So now my new standard when I introduce myself, I say, okay, I'm Lucas, but with a C. I'll just how introduce to everyone now, just in case.
In France, Lucas, Lucas, du coup, it's also with a C. So we have the exactly French name.
Nice.
For both.
Nice. Good. I love French people. I mean, I must say, I've heard my whole life. This is a stereotype, but I've heard my whole life that French people are nasty as fuck. Just when it comes to languages, when you don't know French and you come to France, especially to Paris, and you come with English,
it's for Parisian things.
they don't look at you. You're like, nope, it's not gonna happen. I'm just not gonna talk to you.
No, it's just that we don't really have a good level in languages. We're really bad at learning languages, so that's why people don't. You're in France. You should talk for French. Sorry, having issues.
To become French.
No. I'm just saying this because for example, I'm not Parisian. But when I'm in Paris and somebody's talking to me in English or in Spanish, I just don't care. I can adapt or trying to adapt. Yeah. But there's a lot of people that are not going to do this effort. And that's why it can be really frustrating for strangers coming here, foreigners coming here, because you need something you're just asking and people are being quite rude answering in French. Totally. But there's also a lot of people being quite gentle and nice. Maybe if you're maybe young people, I don't know. I don't know. Because as we should learn languages, English, Spanish, or German at school, I expect them to quite say 2 words and to adapt if there is in the case that you're talking with a foreigner. But I don't know. I think it depends on personalities and people level and people confidence in speaking different languages and so on.
For sure. I mean, oftentimes.
And if people are having a bad day, they're not going to answer.
I mean, I understand when you try to approach someone in English and you're not in France, for example, and they just ignore you. I mean, that is obviously perceived as rude. But that's something I love about Spain. We have the same shitty level of English just like in France. But we still try. We still kind and do all we can to make that communication work.
There was a joke that I remember from a one-man show from a British guy, and he said the thing is, he said that the thing is that in Spain you are too confident about your English level when it's just a mess. You just don't know how to speak English compared to, for example, in Germany and so on. They are just like, no, I have a really bad level in English when they're just talking as native speaker. But in Spain, you're too confident.
You're just not ashamed of shit. We just take shit as it comes. It's like, fuck it. I'm just gonna say whatever I know. I'm just gonna. But that is I love that. I love the attitude of because you're not saying, oh, I'm perfect, and then you just speaking rubbish. That's not what happens, right? You're not that proficient, but you're making everything you can. And I value that. I respect that shit.
No, that's true.
Right?
That's nice.
Right. I'm like hands down for that lad. Right?
But this no making effort thing, it's more, you can see this more in Paris than in other cities. It's just because everything is going too fast. People are just in rush, so they don't have time for people. Just no. Even if I have an issue and I'm still French, sometimes I'm just not gonna find help.
Well, if you don't have the time, like, no. Taxi.
Yeah.
Take me away from this guy. All right, fair enough. Let's stop harassing everyone and just throwing countries through the mud. Oh man, after this episode, everyone's going to hate us. Anyway, so I would love to, as a sort of like a last topic. I would love to touch on the Erasmus, your Erasmus experience. Just give us some feedback. How was your experience with it?
It was amazing, except the COVID part.
Oh yeah, it hit you the very last part of it, didn't it?
Yeah, the thing is that I've lived in Spain for 8 months approximately, and then the COVID-19 crisis came and just took me from Spain and say, go back home. Like, no, it was traumatizing for me because Spain was really a dream for me to be there and to live there for a few months and meet people, but from Spain, well, especially Granada and Andalusia, because it was so nice. The best experience I ever had for the moment. I mean, like everybody should do it once, so not maybe a year, 1 year or too many months, but at least 3 months, 6 months. Yeah. It's really important, I think, to do once in their life. So you're just saying, it's completely different than just 2 weeks and a trip and so on. It's really different experiences. You're just
it gives an opportunity to submerge yourself a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking for this word.
Or immerse. Yeah, just to feel the culture a bit more, integrate yourself.
Exactly. So it was quite easy for me because, as I told you, I don't have that many issues with Spanish. So even if, for example, in classes, people were not too scared of working with me because they know I can write, I can speak in Spanish. So they're like, there is a group project, so you can come with us. And it was nice because I felt quite integrated. Even if at the beginning, yes, it can be quite hard because people don't know you, especially, for example, when you have class with people from the third curso.
For
third year, they know each other. They're all friends. They're having class together for years. Yeah. So it's quite difficult because you're just the lonely Erasmus person there sitting in the class. But if you're
in the corner,
if you're trying to make efforts also to speak with people, to participate in class, I talk about classes because this is the Erasmus program. So
sure.
So it's more about classes. But yeah, if you're just doing efforts, even in your everyday life, like when you go to the supermarket, just say, hey, how are you? To talk quickly. You don't have the time to be friends with this person. But that's, trying makes it easy to feel like more integrated in a city that it's not yours. Somewhere you don't really know. You know nobody. Like basically, when I went there, no friends there. Nothing. So it's just starting over and building something new there. But basically, at the end of this Erasmus, I just felt like I was at home. I felt like this was home. And yeah, it was just amazing. And I had the opportunity.
I'm getting jealous right now, and I lived there.
I had the opportunity to be also a tourist visiting Spain, going Sevilla.
Yes.
Madrid. I've done so many things. I just don't remember. There is a huge list of things that I've done when I was in Spain. And especially because I'm also really passionate about Spanish politics. So I was really happy to go to some conferences, to have classes on Spanish politics, and then to not because I'm for the Socialist Party, but I went to a meeting with Pedro Sanchez, and I was really happy to know better Spanish politics from the inside and not from the outside. So just experiencing. There was the elections also when I was there in November in 2019. So I was really happy to have all of these events when I was there. So it was really enriching. To not have this always this external point of view, but to have people talking to you about this. People saying, "Oh, in Spain is this way. You have it's working like this," and so on. So it was really, really nice to learn to meet people and learn from different experiences. It's always about different experiences and about talking to other people that have a lot to tell, basically.
It broadens your mind incredibly strongly. That's what I can tell from
So
that.
I completely recommend Erasmus. I recommend.
I couldn't agree more with you.
But also I recommend one thing. If somebody's going to Erasmus, just don't stay with only French people, for example. I'm not saying only with French people, but just trying to, if you're in Spain, it's because you want to meet Spanish people, no?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you stay in France with French people. It doesn't make sense to be in Spain with French. I mean, the thing is that, of course, I have French friends in Granada and so on, but also I'm trying to meet people from Granada, from Andalusia, and not stay only with Erasmus people or French people, because it makes no sense. Otherwise, I would have stayed in France. Basically.
Yeah, totally. And there's so many people that do that. They go somewhere and they spend time with lads from home.
That's the issue of French communities outside in foreign countries. That's why I'm telling this, is because a lot of friends told me they went to Erasmus and so on, but they were only with French people, and I'm just like, why are you going to Erasmus? Why? Yeah. So yeah,
totally. You should get involved with those who live there. That from there.
I was really happy, for example, to meet you. But you're not an Erasmus. You're not French. You're not. You're from Spain, basically, and meet other friends and have group projects with Spanish people. That was also amazing. And you have friends. You make friends this way, sharing project in classes, and not staying only with Erasmus.
Totally. I mean, the best way to meet locals is getting out of school and out of your school groups. Well, normally within your degree, there are, normally classes where there are just Spanish people there, or just people from the country. You can go there, make contacts there, and then meet with them outside. But oftentimes you can just go to pubs, maybe. And just connect with them there. That's a really easy way. Just invite them on a round of beer and they will all love you.
It's nice also.
It's like, best guy ever, right? So
yeah, I did that and it was nice also. It's really important. So yeah, I really enjoy this. Is an enjoyable experience and something I would love to do again and again and again. Like really. I really miss Spain, especially because it's mine. I just feel like home when I'm in Spain.
You are deeply in love. I can tell by looking.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, it's like when someone speaks.
I sparkling and so on.
It's like, oh my God, it's so sexy.
No. But I have friends in love with Mexico, with Lebanon and so on, and they have just the same passion that I have, but with another country. And it's interesting to see this.
Totally. I mean, everyone I've ever met that has had an Erasmus experience just loved it. I mean, I did it myself back in the days. I did it in Berlin. It was first of all best decision I have ever made. Second of all, really opened my eyes. It led me to where I am right now, right? It changed my life. It changed completely my life. It was a heavy one. So if you have the possibility to do it, because it does cost money, it's not everyone can do it. If you have the option, you should do it. You should definitely do it.
Give it a try because it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like. I don't really know people having bad experience of Erasmus.
I mean, you can, right? You can. If you, I don't know, don't make the most out of it, or I don't know.
The majority of students doing this
are having anyone and get unlucky, I guess. But
the majority of people are having good time.
Yeah, normally it's quite straightforward, and it's hard to make it a bad experience, really.
Yes,
right?
it's hard.
I mean, you literally got COVID in your Erasmus and you still had the time of your life. So, so anyone can come at you with any bullshit. And, you come with that and you're like, done. All right, done. I did it. You can do it.
No, it was so nice. And yeah, no, I really miss it.
Great. I love how you just told us a bit about your experience. How that's where we met and how this all happened. And it feels like yesterday, but it's over a year ago now. Jesus. It's like time flies. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You were doing your master's in Paris, doing your best.
Things have changed so much since there.
Crazy. We're reaching the end of the episode. I always like to ask you if there's any topic or anything particular that we've missed to talk about that you'd like to share with us.
It makes me laugh a lot because this is typically when I'm doing interviews for my studies of sociology, I'm asking always this question. But really? I'm the one interviewing people. I'm not used to answer questions. No, the thing is that I'm not used to be the interviewee. I'm generally the interviewer. So no, I just don't know what to add. Nothing to say more.
You don't have to. You have to. That was already something, right? Worth sharing. Talked
about so many things so far. So.
Excuse me. Say again.
We talked about so many things so far. So.
Yeah, we did, right? It was quite comprehensive. I'd say it was quite organic as well. We talked a bit about you, about where you come from, about your uni, your degree, sociology as a whole. Then we had a fair bit about the educational system and in which sense it's quite deprived and in which other ways it can improve over time and how it's a bit failing us all. And I just hate it. And then we had a little touch on, Erasmus life, which is obviously amazing. And it really just as a particular way of traveling, really, as a bigger topic that normally just really especially when you don't know what you want to do in life, that is a really good way to find out. Trouble, get out of your comfort zone, meet new people with different mindsets. And after some time, you will start realizing what drives you and what doesn't, what is important and what is not.
Exactly.
And so all these are very, very great topics. I loved talking them through with you. I appreciate you taking the time, this lovely energy you have with you, and share with all those listeners and bring it on the show. I can only wish you all the best.
You too.
On your way with your masters, I'm sure you're gonna kill it. And send me some pics of you playing chess with the kids. I'm excited to know more about that and what you're capable of finding out and making new connections. Again,
trying. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Cool.
It was nice. It's nice talking.
I hope. I mean, this is something I'm realizing lately, and it's that with the guests I have, they have these plans, right? They have something going on, and after maybe 1-2 years, there will be quite the change. I'm excited. If there's there's a lot of new stuff, I'd love to repeat this and get people up to date on that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's a part 2. Who knows?
Yeah.
Eva Fontaine. Part 2. Okay. So, again, thank you so much. I just want to remember everyone out there that if you would like to be part of this show, I'm always open for new people, always looking for them. So feel free to reach out to me on the social media, all social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, whatever. and reach out to me there. It was a pleasure. This was a Creative Cast. I'm Lucas, and I'll see you next time.